All right, you've been mulling it over. Should you homeschool your kids? And you're thinking maybe yes, maybe no. Well, here are the top 5 risks of homeschooling to consider before you pull the trigger. From somebody who decided to take responsibility for developing his own daughter through homeschool from 5th grade to 12th grade. Here we go. Number 1, in no particular order, socialization. It is a real thing. If your kid is home and they don't see other people often, it is a real issue. This can get solved in a few different ways. Clubs, sports, work. For our house, work was the item that did it for us. My daughter needed to be around more people and she was being homeschooled, and work just brought in a lot of other people from a lot of different types of positions and viewpoints, but just enough. Not too much, but just enough. And that helped us solve the socialization problem. Number 2, too much parent-kid interaction. Listen, most people get excited when school starts for the year. You see all the little reels and the YouTube shorts of people celebrating their kids going back to school. And it's funny, but there's a real reason for it. When you're around each other 24/7, it can get daunting. You just don't want to see your kid anymore. The kid doesn't want to see you, but you can't get away from each other because you've decided to homeschool. Again, the solution to something like this is what was in number 1, clubs, work, sports, different things that your kid can go be a part of. And so that you guys are away from each other for a certain period of time, especially things that you can drop your kid off at where they don't want you there anyway. Number 3, we call this the brain dead environment. My daughter ran into this. It was a real thing where she'd study at home. She was looking at the same 4 walls, the same computer, the same books, and she was just brain dead. And we had to solve that in a certain way. And it's the same thing as number 1 and number 2. You're gonna find a common theme. You have to find ways to get out of the house. For us, we did vacations and we went places. For her 5th grade year, we did a road trip across the United States. And it was a blast. We could only do it because of homeschool. But instead of her just staring at her walls every day, we decided, let's go stare at Devil's Tower. Let's go to Washington, D.C. Let's look at everything our country has to offer. Number 4, it will expose weaknesses. If you have a character flaw and you are homeschooling, it is going to rip apart and expose anything you haven't dealt with. Your impatience is going to be number 1. You can have insecurities. You can have a weakness of, man, I'm supposed to teach a class to my kid and I don't know the material. Number 4, it exposes our weaknesses. And so we have to be okay with being exposed like that. Can we deal with the things that we're not good at and decide to improve them? If we can't, it can be dangerous to homeschool. And number 5, this is on the top 5 reasons of why you should homeschool and the top 5 risks. You are in control. That can be good or it can be bad. Here's the bad side of it. If we have always thought that the schools didn't do a good enough job or the teachers didn't do a good enough job, we can complain from a distance. But once we take on homeschooling, we figure out how difficult it actually is to develop a young person academically and in their character. And if we are not ready for that, we are now in control and we could actually make our kids worse because we are not ready to do what it takes to help them win. And so you have to step back and think, ooh, that could be a negative side. However, if you can judge yourself properly, assess where you are strong and where you are weak, and be willing to fix those things, be willing to go through relationship dynamics that you haven't gone through with your kid before because you're with them more, then you being in control could be the best thing for them. And so you look through all these items and all of them have solutions, but you have to recognize that they're gonna come. And if you can do that, then maybe you could pull this off. But attached to this video in the description is the top 5 reasons why you should homeschool. Look at both sides. Be fair. Show your kids that you can analyze a situation and weigh both the positives and the negatives and come to a good conclusion. Good luck out there.